So today we're going to start out with walk and talk about the Limelight Frolic. I've had this for about a week now, so it's probably a good time to talk about it a little bit more in depth while also practicing with my audio and multiple camera angles. So let's see how this goes today. I think some of this content is going to be a moving target for a while until I get it dialed in. But we'll get there. So a couple things with the Frolic that I do think are an issue to some degree. This right here gets hot when you're ripping on it. Like if I take a really long rip, this is gonna be hot. From what we were told, this acts as a heat sink. As you can see, there's a hole in there. And the vapor touches that and it cools it off. But this does get pretty hot, so it's probably working. This right here is pretty loose. I probably could flick it off now. It's gotten looser over time. As you can see, pretty easy. So I think that probably could be fixed with an update. I know he messaged me and said there was something you could do with this O-ring. I will go back through my messages and post it on Instagram on how to fix it later on. And then this is a little tight. I lubricated mine, so mine's not too bad. As you can see, comes off pretty easy. But it would have been nice if it was straight across here. Like if this plastic piece, you could grip it and pull easily. Usually what I do is I kind of tip it forward, like pull it that way. The other thing that happens is if you take a long rip, the herb is going to stick to the bottom of this. And we dropped that fucker again, see? So the herb's gonna stick to the bottom of this. What I usually do is give it a tap and it knocks it off there. I've also heard you could pick it up and slide it and it's gonna fall off. Either way, I did read that they're gonna adjust the screen position, so that probably will help in the future with that. But I would say mostly minor annoyances. This falling off while I'm walking is concerning though. Other than that, things I do like about it, it gets great battery life. So I get about 12 rips on a battery typically, which is quite good in my opinion. So now let's go over some things I do like about the Frolic. The list of problems are minor and they mostly are right in here. And this probably can be fixed, which is good. So the good things about the Frolic: battery life, amazing. Getting 12 plus bowls on demand, which is surprising. The other thing is it hits harder than any vape I've ever tried as far as the battery portable goes. The Tiny by 2 feels like it rips harder, but I think that's mostly because it's harsher and it's not actually ripping as hard. The other nice thing about the Frolic is it's plastic. Sounds stupid to say that, but it's durable. I'm not worried about, probably gonna be fine. Look, Frolic fine, a little dirty, big deal. Let's fire this bad boy up. Well, let's take a rip off this shit. We're at 461. All right, first rip. Nice big cloud. Now I wasn't even puffing that hard on this one. Probably still got another rip in it. There you go. There, it's stuck to the bottom. We'll try it one more. That looks pretty brown though. We're about halfway done with this walk. Second rip. Yeah, that was pretty much toast. All right, so it's probably gonna be stuck to the bottom again. Nope. All right. Pretty brown. Can't hold it up to the GoPro. And that's the first bowl down. I plan on doing probably at least one more on this walk. So just a short little, I like to come out here. I usually fly my drone out here. Not usually a lot of people out here bugging you. And you can whip it around. I brought my drone with, but I forgot my cell phone. So that won't be happening today. Always kind of cool to see the cloud shots from the sky though. All right, so let's load this bitch up again. Planet of the Vape freebies. I love those. Positives to this vape, easy to load. Nice full bowl, really easy. These come in handy. I know Troy likes the doob tubes. I like these, you can pack more in them. And I like to pretend they're smell proof in case I get pulled over. And we're back to a full bowl again. So for the most part, I really love the Frolic. There's a few things I'd like to see different. I'd like to see this cooling unit changed. I know they're talking about coming out with a stem option for a cooling unit, which would be nice. I can see using that at home, but for on the go, I'm probably gonna stick with this type of cooling unit. Hopefully they come out with one that fixes these little minor annoyances. But so for the most part, even with the annoyances, this is my preferred vape. All vapes have some annoyances. The Tiny Mite 2, the 3 bowls, and then the battery goes down to like 50% power or whatever it is. It could say it still has mostly a full charge, but to me, after 3 bowls, you can feel the power dip out on that. And then you got the venti, which is usually my carry if I don't grab a butane device. But the vapor's kind of unsatisfying compared to this. This gives you more like a full hit like the Tiny Mite 2 does, but with the smoothness like the venti. So it's probably most similar to like a Taffy Bowl 2, but portable. Oh, the Taffy Bowl 2 is hard to talk shit about other than being a cup, because it is, you hit the button and it's literally ready by the time you put it to your lips. I love that vape. It's one of the best ones. Let's see what this trail goes to. Usually I walk this outside. Probably just gonna go get lost in the woods now. But there's nothing I like better than doing is walking out in the woods, out in nature, vaping. Usually I grab like a Cimarel Rally or my CXL Tornado or the Anvil. But testing these battery vapes after really not playing with them since the Tiny Mite 2 came out, it's kind of opened my eyes to a few that have really kind of stepped it up. The Mighty, when I tried it, I didn't like that at all. The Venti I liked quite a bit. It was easy to take out and walk. You didn't feel like you're dying after you took a hit. Nice and smooth. Great for things like that. The Frolic hits all those marks, but the vapor is a lot more satisfying. Tiny Mite 2, if I used it this morning, I would have had 1 bowl this morning. And then I would have brought it out here, and I would have took that rip over there. And then I'd take this next rip, and it would be pretty much shit out, and I'd be swapping out batteries. Usually when I carry that, I carry 4 batteries. I get roughly the same amount of battery life out of this as I do with the Tiny Mite with 4 batteries, which is crazy. So I'm a huge fan. Taffy Bowl 2, if I could stick it in my pocket, would probably be the one I used 99% of the time. The vapor on this is better than on the Taffy Bowl 2 in my opinion. It's fuller, it's got a little bit more kick to it. So this kind of hits all the marks that are perfect, except for this cooling unit. Here's your one hang up. They sold you this would be the shit. You put this on it, parts of it are kind of shit. Still a great unit. I will deal with these minor annoyances till they fix this. I still think it's a much better vape than anything else you could put in your pocket. The reason I say pocket is a Taffy Bowl 2, damn close with the extra battery life in the potter, very convenient. And the Back X is the other one that I think has some merit to buy still in the high end range. Due to it tastes really good, it hits just as hard. The problem with the Back X is every once in a while I go to hit it and it kind of like misses its mark and it doesn't extract very well. and then I go, you know, up the temp or check the atomizer, and then get a better rip. But I already pretty much fucked all the terps up. But the back X, when it's dialed in, is the shit. This way more consistent. Has a lot of benefits when it comes to that. Easy to put in your pocket. Smaller than the venti, a little bit wider. Generally fits much better in the pocket. Battery life, I would say, is probably very similar to the venti. So I think you buy this, one extra battery to throw it on the charger, and you're pretty much set. If you can deal with, threw it at myself, see? If you can deal with that, that's annoying. This tightness doesn't bother me as much, but dropping this twice on this walk is annoying. So be careful with that. And like I said, I will post what Dijon from Limelight told me to do about this ring. Remember, he had a fix for it, but I'm sure they'll fix it. They seem really on top of their stuff. For a first time out, this does not feel beta. I bought plenty of devices that felt beta. This isn't one of them. Definitely a little more refined for a first try. So I recommend checking out the Limelight Frolic. It's a great vape. Probably wouldn't hurt to wait till they make a revision on this cooling unit, which I'm sure is coming. I mean, that would be kind of my recommendation. Maybe wait for that if you're not willing to wait. Fuck it, the cooling unit's probably not going to cost a ton of money to replace, but for some of you that might be a deal breaker. So I generally recommend waiting to see what they do about that, but otherwise this is a buy all day for me. So we're going to take one more rip on the Frolic before we're out of here, and I'm going to go for a one and done. All right. Yeah, it looks toast to me. Little light. Perfect. Till next time, please like this video and subscribe. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.